My dear people of Southern Cameroons, my dear people of Amazonia, today is Tuesday, the 14th of May in the year of our Lord 2019. I bring you revolutionary greetings and I bring you this very important press release from the Southern Cameroons Liberation Council, the SCLC. My dear people, even just before I read that press release out to you, let me begin by extending very sincere thanks and appreciation to the thousands of you who made it to New York yesterday, Monday, the 13th of May in the year of our Lord 2019. I think that outing, more than ever before, demonstrated once more our determination to attain our objective, to secure freedom, not only for the current generations of the people of the Southern Cameroons, but for the future generations of Southern Cameroonians that will be born into freedom, not into slavery, not into forever colonialism, as has been the case with us. My dear people, I thank you so much. The SCLC extends to you sincere thanks and appreciation for responding to our call. This is a clear mark that we as a people have determined that it is only freedom that we will get. You either give us freedom or give us death. Freedom is the only thing that we will take. We have suffered enough. We have suffered more than a century of colonialism. The time for freedom is now. The bells of freedom are ringing, and all of us shall do all it takes to stand firm until we all sing glory to the Lord Most High. I also want to take this opportunity again to call on all Southern Cameroonians, all Amazonians across the world to heed massively to the worldwide demonstrations called for the 20th of May 2019. I said earlier on behalf of the SCLC that wherever you are, be you in Japan, be you in South Korea, be you in Hong Kong, be you in Germany, in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, be you in Ghana, wherever you are in the world, make sure you constitute yourselves and go out on the 20th of May in a very public environment and stage that very wonderful demonstration. The SCLC will, in the days ahead, come out with messages that will be written on placards everywhere and also suggest the nature of pictures that you will carry along as you go out to show the truth of Mr. Paul Biya to the entire world. My dear people, our efforts are beginning to yield fruits. We shall come back to discussions about the holding of the informal session of the United Nations Security Council in our other broadcasts that will be right ahead, say today or tomorrow or latest the day after tomorrow. My dear people, that said also, let me sincerely extend thanks and encouragement to all those who are contributing massively into the joint treasury of the Southern Cameroons Liberation Council, the SCLC, and that treasury, the ARF, the Ambazonia Relief Fund, is going to serve us a lot of purpose. We have 1.5 million people who are internally displaced, over 500,000 others who are living as refugees across the world, and even those who are still living in their homes are in a lot of need. My dear people, thank you for your generosity. The time for us to intensify this fight is now. The time for us to intensify our efforts is now. The sitting of the UN Security Council, rather informally on our matter, on our question, on the future of the Southern Cameroons, albeit on the humanitarian situation, is not an indication that we should lie on our laurels. It's rather an indication that we have much more work to do, and the time to do it is now, in total unison and in total unity. Let me bring to you now the content of this press release. It is dated the 14th of May 2019, titled Prime Minister Dion Ngute drives terror into Buea as United Nations Security Council meets. The Southern Cameroons Liberation Council, SCLC, has received shocking images of the Yaoundé autocratic regime's agent, Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge of Buea, hammer in hand, breaking into shops and homes and forcing people against their will to go out and receive genocide-enabler-in-chief, Prime Minister Dion Ngute. The massive destruction and terror caught on camera with images that are currently circulating on social media is being unleashed on the people of Buea just one day after the Cameroon representative at the United Nations lied to the Security Council members that Dion Ngute was received in Buea in pomp and ceremony, with the people swearing allegiance to dictator Paul Biya. The ubiquitous act shows more than enough that the poorly staged drama being acted around in the name of peace offer and dialogue represent one ploy too much by the atrocious government of dictator Paul Biya to try and fool the world that he can handle the Southern Cameroon's question. The SCLC has learned that the manipulative Biya government, which initially refused to authorize the holding of an Anglophone General Conference AGC proposed by Christian Cardinal Tumi, is now playing ostrich behind the scenes to push for same with the view to fabricating so-called Southern Cameroon's representatives with whom to hold his conqueror's peace talks. The SCLC seizes this opportunity to draw the attention of both national and international public opinion to another piece of ridicule being put up in the name of the Northwest-Southwest Task Force. That group is made up mainly of the wives of enablers of the ongoing genocide, disguising as common suffering mothers, earnestly crying for the return of peace. During the recent murderous visit by Prime Minister Dion Ngute to Bamenda, the rector of the University of Ngaoundéré, Professor Ufe Chinje-Melo, was identified among the so-called pious women mourning for peace and the deaths of their children. The picture of Mrs. Ufe Chinje-Melo at that scene has been captured and is published alongside this press release. Was the young lady who addressed Dion Ngute on behalf of the said group, 19-year-old Ekema, is a university student in the southwest who lives with her parents around the Presbyterian Church at Ntambesi, Bamenda. She was allegedly paid to act as the leader of the group in Bamenda. Even as this press release is being issued, scores of young gendarmerie recruits are presently in Buea, waiting to be dressed as and paraded as self-defense volunteers of the Southern Cameroon struggle who have dropped their weapons and surrendered to Mr. Biya. At the same time, members of trade unions are being threatened to converge on Mountain Hotel in Buea and receive genocide-enabler-in-chief Dion Ngute or face arrests and possible death. Such pretentious acts have been the modus operandi of the 37-year-old regime of octogenarian dictator Paul Biya, always trying to create fake agents to enable them get audiences here and there to misrepresent the genuine concerns of the suffering people of the Southern Cameroons. The SCLC reiterates the stance of over 85% of the Southern Cameroon's population, as revealed by Christian Cardinal Tumi after careful study and repeated visits to the communities, that only total self-determination for our country holds the key to sustainable peace between the Cameroons and the Gulf of Guinea in general. The SCLC is the largest coalition of liberation movements, groups and organizations seeking the independence of the former UN Trust territory of British Southern Cameroons. This press release is signed by Elvis Cometa for the SCNC, Sako Samuel Kome, Interim Government, Ebenezer Kwanga, APLM, Salili Kowo, FSCWO, John Bakuro, the Consortium, Mark Chebs, Republic of Ambazonian Nationals, and Bo Hubbard for Morisk. God is with us.